Hi there, this is MTA. HMRC is bringing major changes in 2026 that could affect your tax bill, your records, and your compliance. Here's what every UK taxpayer needs to know.
All right, let's talk about 2026, because some really big changes are on the horizon for the UK tax system. And look, if you're a business owner, a freelancer, or a landlord, you absolutely need to know what's coming. So, over the next few minutes, we're going to break it all down for you. What's happening, and more importantly, what you can do about it. All of this comes straight from the expert tax advisors at one of the UK's most trusted firms, My Tax Accountant.
Okay, let's just start with one number. A pretty shocking one, actually, 780,000. Just let that sink in. That's how many sole traders and landlords are about to be hit with the biggest shift in UK tax reporting we've seen in a generation. And it all kicks off in April 2026. So if you're one of them, you're going to want to stick around for this. And let's be really clear here. This isn't just some small tweak to the paperwork. No way. We're talking about the most significant overhaul of our tax system since self-assessment was introduced back in 1997. It's set to completely change how millions of us report our earnings and, deal with HMRC. It really is a massive transformation. So, I have to ask, are you ready for 2026? Because these changes, well, they're not optional, they're mandatory, and they can be pretty complex. The clock is definitely ticking, but don't worry, that's what we're here for. The good news is, by the time we're done, you'll have a much clearer idea of what's going on and exactly what you need to do. Right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the big picture, this new era for tax. Then we'll get into the specifics of the digital mandate, MTD. After that, we'll cover how HMRC is getting a much closer look at things like crypto, what's changing if you want to sell your business, and the new penalty system. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple step-by-step action plan for you to follow. Okay, first up, a new era for tax. The best way to think about this is that 2026 is the year your whole relationship with HMRC changes. Seriously. We are moving away from that old system of, looking back once a year at what you earned. Instead, we're heading towards a system where HMRC gets a view of your finances almost as it happens, in near real time. So what's the driver behind all this? Well, at its heart, HMRC is basically scrapping the good old annual tax return for a huge number of people. They're switching to this proactive, digital-first model. The whole idea is to give them a constant, up-to-date picture of your business finances. Why? Well, their official reason is to cut down on simple mistakes and to close what they call the tax gap, which is just the difference between the tax they think they should get and what they actually collect. So, how are they actually going to do all this? Well, it's all happening through a system called Making Tax Digital, or MTD for short. This is the big one. It's the biggest practical change of the lot, and it's the one that's going to directly impact those 780,000 sole traders and landlords we talked about at the start. Yeah, this is where it all gets very real. Okay, so who's first in line for this? The magic number you need to remember is this one, £50,000. If you're a sole trader or you rent out property and your total qualifying income for the 2024/25 tax year goes over £50,000, then you're in. You'll be legally required to use MTD starting from April 6th, 2026. Now let's break that down, because this is a point that catches a lot of people out. What on earth is qualifying income? It's your total gross income, and that's the key bit, your turnover, not your profits, from your self-employment and any property you rent out, all added together. What it doesn't include is any salary you get from a regular PAE job or any dividends or savings interest. So let's take an example. Imagine you run a little cafe in Manchester with a turnover of £40,000, and you also have a flat that you rent out, bringing in £12,000 a year. Add those together. Your qualifying income is £52,000, and that means you're in.
And here's the kicker. What does this actually mean for you and your admin? Well, think about the old way. It was pretty simple, right? One tax return once a year. Easy. But under the new MTD system, you're looking at 5 deadlines. You'll have to send 4 separate quarterly updates to HMRC with your income and expenses, and then you'll do one final declaration at the end to tie it all up. So yeah, you're going from 1 job a year to 5. It's a big change. Okay, let's just make this super simple. The new process really boils down to 4 key steps. Step 1, your paper records, they're out. You have to keep everything digitally. Step 2, you have to use software that's compatible with HMRC's MTD system. Step 3, you use that software to send your 4 quarterly updates. And step 4, you submit that final declaration to sign it all off. Now that second step, the software, is absolutely vital.
So stay with me because this next point is something every small business needs to hear. All right, here's a really important tip straight from the team at My Tax Accountant. Please, whatever you do, do not wait until March 2026 to sort this out. Start looking into MTD-compatible software right now. There are loads of options out there. Some are free, some have a small monthly fee. The most important thing is to find one that actually works for your business and give yourself plenty of time to get used to it before that deadline comes rushing up.
Right, moving on. This whole new era of tax transparency, it's not just about your regular business income. Oh no, HMRC is also getting a much clearer view into some of the newer asset classes out there. And yes, I'm talking about crypto.
Now you'll definitely want to hear this part. Starting from January 1st, 2026, all those crypto platforms, the exchanges and wallet providers, they will be legally required to collect your data and automatically send it straight to HMRC. We're talking your full name, your address, your national insurance number, and summaries of all your transactions. So if you thought crypto was some kind of tax gray area, well, that time is officially coming to an end.
And if you're wondering just how seriously HMRC is taking this, just look at this number. 315 million pounds. That's how much extra tax the government expects to collect from this by 2030. Think about it. They're going to have all the data directly from the platforms, and you can be sure they'll be cross-checking it against what you put in your tax return. Okay, but the changes don't stop there. For business owners, 2026 is also going to have a big impact on your long-term plans. And this is especially true if you've ever thought about one day selling your business. So, there's a really important change coming to something called Business Asset Disposal Relief, or BIDR for short. Basically, it's a relief that lets you pay a much lower rate of capital gains tax when you sell all or part of your business. Right now, up until April 5th, 2026, that special rate is 14%. But from April 6th, it's jumping up to 18%. To put it simply, the tax bill for selling your business is about to get a whole lot bigger. Now, the lifetime limit for this relief isn't changing. That's staying put at £1 million. And it's probably worth mentioning that another similar scheme called Investors Relief is also getting its rate bumped up to 18%, just to keep everything aligned.
Okay, let's talk penalties. Because with all this new digital reporting, HMRC is bringing in a totally new system for dealing with late submissions. And this is another one that catches a lot of people out, so it's definitely worth paying close attention to this part. You see, this really highlights a change in HMRC's thinking. Under the old system, you were just a day late with your return and bang, an automatic $100 fine. The new system, though, is much more focused on targeting people who are persistently late, not those who make a one-off mistake. So instead of that instant fine, you'll now get a penalty point.
So how does it actually work? Well, the best way to think about it is it's a bit like the points on your driving license. Every time you miss one of those new submission deadlines, you get 1 point. You don't actually get a fine until you've accumulated enough points to hit a certain threshold. For anyone filing quarterly MTD updates, that threshold is 4 points. Once you hit 4 points, you'll get a £200 fine. It's really a system that gives you a chance to get things right before you get hit in the pocket.
Okay, so we've gone through the what and the why behind all these massive changes. Now let's get to the most important part of all, the how. As in, how do you prepare? This is your action plan. A few clear, simple steps you can start taking today to make sure you're not caught out in 2026. So here it is, your 5-point action plan. First, dig out your records for the 2024 to 25 tax year and check if your combined income from self-employment and property is going to be over that £50,000 mark. Second, and this is a big one, start researching MTD software now. Don't put it off. Third, if you're even thinking about selling your business, you need to review that timeline before the tax rates go up. Fourth, if you've dabbled in crypto, get all your transaction records in order. And fifth, and honestly, this is the most crucial step of all, seek out some proper professional advice to build a plan that's tailored just for you. Right, before we wrap up, I just need to say something very important. Please remember, all the information we've shared today is for general guidance. It's here to give you a good overview, but it is absolutely not a substitute for professional advice that's tailored to your unique financial situation. And if you want to get that kind of personalized advice, we really recommend getting in touch with the experts who put all this analysis together in the first place. You can contact My Tax Accountant directly. Their phone number is 0208-570-8531, or you can drop them an email at info@mytaxaccountant.co.uk. They'll be able to help you build a solid plan for your business.
Look, staying on top of all these changes is going to be absolutely crucial over the next couple of years. So for more updates like this, make sure you hit subscribe on the My Tax Accountant YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching.